What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight, alright, we're going back to Iced Earth. Yes, indeed, Iced Earth fans, feeling you. Come on now. Here we go. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to doing all of the clicks and the likes and the bibbity-bibbity bop, do me a favor, before you do all that stuff, please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, if you still feel like doing all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This comes as a request from Ben Guevara, and Ben wanted to see me react to this song by Iced Earth called Dante's Inferno. Now, have I ever heard the song before? No, I have not. To the best of my knowledge, this does not resonate with me in any way, shape, or form. However, there's always a possibility I may have heard the song in passing and I just don't realize it. So as always, if I start listening to the song and I suddenly go, oh wow, unbelievable, I have heard this song before, I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I am familiar with Dante's Inferno. I have read the Divine Comedy. It's a hard read, man. It's not easy to read. The translations that I've read two different translations, and the more modern translation, I got a better gist on it, a better grasp of it. It wasn't as hard to read. When I mean hard to read, I don't mean like it was a dry read, it was a boring read. It was literally, there were times I had to read over the same 3 lines, like, wait a minute, hold on. What's being, oh, okay. It's the translation's a little rough sometimes. I still think Virgil did a great job with the writing of the Divine Comedy. Obviously, Inferno is my favorite. Purgatorio, not so much. I couldn't find myself really getting into Purgatorio as much as I got into Inferno. I think it's because Inferno, it was more of a dive. And he kept going deeper and deeper and deeper. Where Purgatorio kind of, I hate to say it, but I just didn't feel like it really went anywhere. It moved, it did move, but it moved in circles as opposed to layers of depth. The circles, we all know what the circles are. So I'm assuming this song is a musical interpretation of Dante's Inferno. Are we gonna go through all of the circles, including the 8th? I mean, the 8th has, how many parts did the 8th circle have? 14, I think. I mean, I can imagine this song is gonna be long. I'm already bracing myself for that. I haven't looked yet, but something tells me this is gonna be at least a 15-minute long song, if not longer, probably. But, I mean, we're gonna go from limbo to, let's see, limbo to lust to gluttony to greed. Dear Lord, I mean, if we're gonna hit all the circles, that's gonna be rough. This is gonna be a long song. I don't know, we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see how this goes. By the way, I know this is a little off topic, but I miss playing the video game Dante's Inferno. I do. I thought that was a great way to expose people to the Divine Comedy. Because a lot of people, I know for a fact, a lot of people played that video game and then they were like, what's this story really all about? And then they went and read the Divine Comedy. And I'm really hoping that happened, because it's a wonderful work of literature. It really is. Anyway, let's see. This was posted by Official Iced Earth. Okay, no shock there. And the video has 20,000 views. It'll get you there. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. Dante's Inferno. I haven't looked at the time yet. I have not looked at the time yet. Dante's Inferno. Highest Earth. It says highest Earth right up here. Okay, let's look at the time. What do we got? Okay, I was close. I said 15. 1626. Now, is that going to be enough to do all 9 circles? Oh, let's see if I can name all 9. I'm curious. I want to see if I can do it from memory. Limbo. Limbo's first. Lust. LL. Limbo, lust, gluttony, greed. And then anger. Heresy. Violence. And within violence, you have the 3 circles. Violence to fraud. And within fraud, there's, I want to say 12 individual. Is here? No, wait. There weren't that many. It was 10. 10. Yeah, 10 subsections within fraud. And then there was treachery. Treachery is the last circle. It has 3 subsections. No, 4. 4 subsections. Yeah. Okay. So I still got it. Can we do all of that in 16 minutes? Oh boy, we could, but they're going to be jam-packing it. I don't know. I don't know how this is going to go. This could be amazing or it could be, okay. It's either going to be amazing or it's going to be terrible. I don't know which it's going to be, but there's going to be no middle ground with this. I don't see middle ground happening. So let's give it a shot. Let's see what happens here. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
Through the fiery caverns we sail. Virgil at my side, my guide and master. Questing through the 9 planes of hell.
It was mentioned the 9 planes. They mentioned Virgil.
Wisdom shall fill my soul. Slowly now, the days departing. The darkened air releases me. Frightening vision
Dissonance on that
of my
vision.
journey. Transmute in blood.
Interesting.
I'm not free.
I was really kind of hoping that if we're going to go through all the circles, maybe for each circle we kind of stylistically change things up a little bit. So it makes it obvious that we're moving on. You know what I mean? Kind of like what Dream Theater did with the Change of Seasons. Or if you really want to, take it even further, look at what they did with Scenes from a Memory. It's one long continuous song, yes, but it's broken up, and it's very obviously broken up by stylistic approach changes. So, we have a little bit, more of a relaxed feel for this particular part, but when we switch gears to the next part, it shifts. Obviously shifts. Not so far in the left field that it doesn't feel conducive to the entire product, but it is a definite gear change. A definite shift from like first gear to like third gear. You know what I mean? I was really kind of hoping we would have more of an approach like that within the song. I don't know. I mean, 3.5 minutes have gone by and we've had one shift so far. I mean, at this point, we should be, if we're really breaking things down, we should be into at least the second circle. We might have gone from Limbo to Lust by now, I would hope. But Limbo wasn't even touched until we got to it said that during the whole introduction, I heard in the lyric that they were going to descend into Limbo. And that's when the song kicked in. So we're either still in Limbo, which if we are, we're here for a while. You're only going to have 12 minutes to get through the other 8 circles. So I don't know how that's going to work out. Little confusing, but I like what I'm hearing. I gotta say that intro was actually kind of nice with the dissonance on the resolution. That was interesting. And then it resolved out of itself. That was kind of nice too. Let's see where this goes. I'm really curious to see how this develops. And like I said this at the beginning. It's either going to be amazing or it's going to be terrible. I don't know which. Jury's still out on that. Let's see some more evidence here. Okay, so we have a shift here. Okay. It took us a while, leaving us with only about 11 minutes to get through the other 8 circles. Unless Lust was covered in there. If they put Limbo and Lust together in the same feel, I guess. Maybe. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see where we are right now, but I hope we can get all 9 circles in. I don't know. We'll find out. So we're in Gluttony now? So did we skip Lust, or was Lust in that section with Limbo? In that fast section? That defeats the purpose of giving each circle its own feel. If you're going to put 2 of them together. But whatever. We're going into grade now. I like that chordal progression. Root to the 2, root to the 4-3 to root, back to the 2 to the 7, the flat 7 to the root. I like that. That feels good. I like that. Let's see where we're at here. We're in green now.
The muddy corpses cry, howling to the sky. Reach the other side, open wide the gates.
Sounds like we're switching gears again. All right, anchor. violence. I think he said through the gates of Dis. This is the first gate of violence, if I remember correctly. So what happened to anger and what happened to heresy? Just gonna skip over those two? Oh, look, if you're gonna do it, man, do it. You know, if you're gonna do a song about all of the circle, about Dante's Inferno, then you gotta do all the circles, man. I feel gypped. As a listener, I feel cheated. Anyway, I'll just pray to this. Hey, Gorgon's that's violence of yourself, also known as the suicide circle. Slowing down again. I didn't hear any references. I didn't catch any references in those verses as to where we are. Let's see. We did violence, which means we're either in fraud or we're in treachery. Fraud would make the most sense. We still got 3.5 minutes to go. But I didn't hear any mentioning. Lyrics 9 times out of 10 will go over my head. So I'm actually kind of impressed that I even got the lyrics that I did get, but I didn't get any references to fraud. So I don't know where we are. We're either still in violence or we're in fraud. One of the two, hopefully. Hopefully we didn't jump ahead to treachery. I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. Let's find out where we are. Hopefully it'll give me a little more, a little more decisive explanation as to where we are right now. I could really use Virgil right now. I really could. Interesting usage of I don't know where we are. I think we're broad.
Place where every horror comes to life, where every torture is real, and time stands still. 8 fiery steps, and we're closer to the end. In a cold and timeless grave, buried head first in shit, praying all the while for a quick and painless death, scratching furiously at scabs and oozing wounds. Lucifer, Agent of Light.
Okay, they mentioned Lucifer, so we must be in treachery. That's the circle he lives in. Okay. We must have been in fraud then, that section I wasn't 100% sure about. I think I heard them mentioning some, in the whispered vocals, I think I heard them mentioning some of the subsections of fraud. I know there's, I think it's 10. I'm almost positive it's 10 now I think about it, but it might be 12. But they each have their own name, so I don't remember the names of all of those subsections. Obviously, that's a lot to remember, but I think I heard them mentioning the names within the whispers, so that's an interesting approach. I was going to mention, I like the usage of what's happening rhythmically within the percussion versus what's happening rhythmically within the subdivision work of the guitars and bass. I think it's a nice contrast. They work well together. You got the more spaced out, accent heavy work within the percussion, not within the drums. The drums are going right along with the guitars and bass. I'm talking about the actual like auxiliary percussion. I think it might be timpani that we're hearing, versus the faster subdivision work, tighter subdivision work within the guitar, bass, and drums. I like that contrast. It's a nice contrast. Let's keep going here. I think we're in treachery. I think we're in the home stretch. Then in 2. There's 4. I heard 2, so that's good. fade. I don't know, man. I feel like a fade's kind of a, I hate to say it, but I feel like a cheap, I feel like a linear fade is kind of a lazy ending. There's so many other ways. With such a grandioso song, why not have a grandioso ending? Especially taking the subject matter into account. I would expect a big, powerful, grandioso ending. And instead we have a linear fade. Yeah. I'm sorry. I feel cheated. I think the ending really kind of cheated us. A lot to think about. A lot to take into consideration, too. Let me get my thoughts together. I'll see you in the review, and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was Iced Earth with Dante's Inferno. This was a request from Ben Guevara. Okay. I made predictions at the beginning of this video before I dove into the song. I made some predictions. And some of my predictions came true. Some of them did not. Some of the ones that did not didn't come true for the better, and some of them didn't come true for the worse. And the same thing can be said about the ones that did come true. Some of them ended up for the better, and then some of them ended up for the worse. This is an interesting one. I had I had high hopes for this. I really did. I did make the prediction, and this is the one prediction that I stand by 100%. This is either going to be amazing or this is going to be terrible, okay? And I'm glad to say it's not terrible. This had the potential, considering the subject matter involved and the band involved, this had the potential to be up in the high nines. Like, I'm talking 9.7, 9.8, possibly. I don't know. I've only ever had one song ever get 9.9, but I'm going to be honest with you, folks. Taking everything into account, this had the potential of getting a 9.9. Taking the band into account, who's doing this, who's writing this, and the subject matter, how well it was going to be recorded, how well it was going to be executed, how well it was going to be designed and written, this could have been up in the high nines. It really could have. Unfortunately, I feel, and looking at this from an objective standpoint, I feel like the ball was dropped a couple of times, okay? So unfortunately, we are not in the nines. As much as I would have loved to put this in the nines, I just do not feel right doing so. Having said that, though, on a scale of 1 to 10, I am still going to give this an 8.5. Yup, 8.5. I feel good about that score. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Okay. First things first, an 8.5. What does that mean? Well, an 8.5 would translate to a great scale rating. So overall, I believe it or not, I think this was a great song. It would also get 4 to 5 stars and an A- letter grade. So there you go, an 8.5, great scale rating, 4 to 5 stars, and an A- letter grade. Now, how did I come up with that score? So glad you asked. Okay. There was a number of factors that came into this, coming all the way up to an 8.5. And unfortunately, there were also some factors that kept it from going any higher. Man, I cannot tell you. When I saw who was doing this, I saw it was Iced Earth, and they were doing a song called Dante's Inferno. And I had this idea that they're going to take the Divine Comedy, the chapter Inferno of the Divine Comedy, and they're going to base a song around that one section. I was elated. I was absolutely looking forward to this because I'm a big fan of the work. I'm a big fan of Virgil's Divine Comedy, and Inferno's my favorite part. You know, I love this song. I remember when the video game came out, and I'm not gonna lie to you folks, when the video game came out, I was very hesitant to buy into it. I mean, I bought it. Obviously, I bought it because I'm a big fan of the work, but I was very hesitant to jump in with both feet into the deep end. I was very skeptical. I mean, how are they going to take a video game and make it as accurate as possible to the game Dante, to the works of Virgil of the Divine Comedy? And how are they going to make that interesting? Well, they made it super violent. They took the Divine Comedy and stuck it over God of War, is what they really did. It was a hack and slash game all the way through. But the path, the storyline followed the Divine Comedy. The storyline followed Inferno to a T. I mean, I loved it. I thought it was fantastically done. The video game was a lot of fun, and it had a lot of replay value, but more than the replay value and more than all that, the fact that it stayed as true as it did to Inferno really, it surprised me in a very good way. Taking Inferno and putting it into the workings of a song, not easy to do. That is quite the undertaking. That's bold. I mean, it really is, man. If you think about it, that is a bold move to do. And I gotta say, they did it, and they did it really well. Like, how they broke everything up. Okay, this is where some of the pluses and minuses come into play. I did something that I don't normally do because I needed to be sure before I made any assumptions. I wanted to be sure. So, full transparency here. One of the first times I've ever done this, I went, after listening to this, I went and I re-listened to it with the lyrics in front of me. And I wasn't sure about two circles. I did not see any mention about heresy. I didn't. I was watching the lyrics and I was listening to the song, didn't see heresy. And the other one I didn't see, they never, okay, they may have covered it, fraud. They may have covered it, but there was never any direct mention of fraud. Every other circle they mentioned limbo, they mentioned lust, they mentioned gluttony, they mentioned greed, they mentioned anger, they mentioned violence, and they mentioned they mentioned treachery. But I never heard them mention fraud. And there was a section where they kind of inferred it, and in the whispering, in the lyrics didn't show the whispered words, but within the whispered words, I could have sworn I heard them mention several of the there's 10 subsections. I went and double checked. There's 10. I mentioned some of the subsections, but they never directly referred to fraud. So I'm giving fraud kind of the benefit of the doubt and saying they inferred it, so I'll go with it. But they never mentioned heresy. And I'm a little depressed about that. The storytelling from what they were doing, going from circle to circle, they did that well. They transitioned well. Now, trying to get 9 circles into 16 minutes with an intro and an outro and guitar solos, that was rough. Okay, if I'm being honest, they covered each circle. They did, but I do feel like some of the circles got a little shafted. I do feel like they got a little cheated. Violence, having the 3 subsections within violence, I feel like violence did kind of get shafted. I also felt like wasn't lust, wasn't gluttony, I think greed. I feel like they kind of coasted through greed very quickly. And listen, I know there's not a lot to talk about there, but they give equal time. You know what I mean? I feel like they should have given a little more time to it. Now, how can we fix that? Well, a suggestion: get rid of the guitar solos. Okay, listen, I appreciate a good guitar solo as much as the next guy, but if we're telling a story here, and if we're pressed for time, you're trying to jam as much as you can into a short amount of time as you can, get rid of the guitar solos and focus more on the storytelling of Inferno. I don't feel like the guitar solos really added to the story in any way, shape, or form. They were completely unnecessary. Now, like I said, I appreciate a good guitar solo as much as the next guy. The guitar solos were well done, absolutely. They showed some great technique, absolutely. They fit the mood and tone of the musical direction of the chordal structure of the song, absolutely. But did they add in any way to the storytelling? No, they did not. So I would say kill the guitar solos. That will free up at least 2.5 minutes of time. Spend more time on Greed, and let's stick Heresy in there, which I didn't feel they covered at all. So there's a suggestion for a solution for the future. And also, who says it has to be 16 minutes? Look, if you're gonna do the 9 circles of hell, let's just keep it simple, okay? Simple math. Let's just keep it simple math. You have your introduction, right? Intro could be a minute and a half. Okay, cool. Give each circle 2 minutes. You know, that's not a whole lot of time, but give each circle 2 minutes of storytelling. Okay, so now we're at 18 minutes, right? And then a minute outro. Sure. Let's also, they did mention Minos, but Minos wasn't really a circle. That was Judgment. That wasn't one of the circles. You had to go to Minos to be assigned one of the 9 circles. So Minos isn't really a circle, and neither is Charon. They're both not circles. They mentioned Charon, they mentioned Minos. Okay, fine. If you really want to follow Inferno to the letter, you have to include them. And they did, and I'm glad they did. Give a minute to Minos, give a minute to Charon. Okay, they're important, but they're not the 9 circles. So give a minute to Charon, give a minute to Minos with a 1.5 minute intro. All right, so there's 2.5 minutes, 2.5, 3.5, plus the 18 minutes. That's 21.5, plus another minute. Let's make it a 1.5 minutes. Let's get a nice round number here. So that would be 23 minutes total. I'm going to be honest with you folks, you know me in long songs, right? I'm not a big fan of long songs, but the song is engaging, and I'm enjoying myself, and it's well written, well constructed. I've always said this. It has nothing to worry about. As a matter of fact, I'll usually bump it up a couple of points. I kind of wish the song had been longer. I can't believe I'm saying that, but I'm saying that for the sake of the storytelling aspect. I do feel like certain subjects were slightly cheated and one subject completely ignored. One circle, I should say. As far as the musicianship goes, I think the musicianship was great. I think the songwriting, well done, well constructed. I do appreciate the fact that they took each section and gave it its own musical feel. They would change the direction of the song, but not in a way that was not conducive to the overall product. They didn't take the song in such a weird direction or such a weird tempo or weird feel that it didn't fit within the context of the entire product. They did a great job of differentiating each section. That was really well done, and I want to make sure that I give credit where credit's due for that, okay? And they did a great job of it. The musicianship, the guitar playing, I talked at length about the solos already. I don't feel like the guitar solos really added anything, but they were well done. They were very well done solos. But more than that, the guitar playing, the chunking guitar playing, the rhythmic playing, along with the bass and the drums, very tight, very clean, very well done. Especially when you had the other elements like I'm not sure if it was timpani or not, but the other auxiliary percussion with the pound and pound, and then they would lay out going against the tight rhythmic pattern of the subdivisions that the guitar, bass, and drums were doing at the exact same time. I liked that. I liked that contrast. It felt very dramatic. And that happened a lot of times through the whole song, where you had some contrast, and it felt good. You had the chordal pattern, I think it was in the introduction, where you moved up to the third, and you had the third moving to the major 2, the minor 3 against the major 2, that little half-step integer against, I believe it was the minor 6. That felt oddly weird, but it felt oddly good at the same time. I liked it. I thought that was really well done. Vocally, I think what was sang fit the context of the song. I think there were some missed opportunities when we're, talking about certain circles. Okay, lust, yes. We should definitely have aggressive vocals in there, for sure. Greed, yes, absolutely. Gluttony? I don't know. I think I would have gone for more of a, melodic singing style for Gluttony. Something haunting, something something... I don't want to say depressing, but solemn, something like that. Regret, something in that vein. Also, if they had heresy, maybe not heresy, but violence. Well, no, violence. You kind of want to have that aggressive vocal style. Maybe anger, regret within anger. That might have been good. Having a melodic singing style. I would have liked to see some melodic singing in this in key areas. I think that would have been more effective than just, grit and growl vocal, grit and growl vocal, grit and growl vocal. I do feel opportunity was missed there, but what was sang sounded good. It sounded just fine. I had no issue with what was sang. I don't think he did anything poorly. And that seems to be the biggest thing about this song. I feel like there were some missed opportunities, but overall, what was presented was a great job. So, could it have been better? Yes, I believe it could have been better if they had made some changes and taken a little bit of a different approach about certain things. But the product that we have, the product that was given to us, I think it's a great product. Could it be better? Yes, but we'll take what we can get. I would really be interested to see another band try this. Maybe, I hate to say it, I hate to keep bringing these guys up, but maybe Dream Theater. That could be really interesting to see them take a stab at this and not do a cover of what Iced Earth did, but take their own approach to it. Write a song based around Dante's Inferno, kind of like what they did for A Change of Seasons. Make it 24, 28 minutes long and take it in that type of a style. I think that could be really interesting. But the overall, I have no problem with this as far as they did something wrong or they did something terrible. No, not at all. What we heard was a great job, and that's why I'm giving it the great score of 8.5. So let's wrap everything up here in a nice shiny bow, shall we? We have an 8.5, which is a great scale rating, 4 to 5 stars, and an A- letter grade. Take your pick, I don't care, whichever one of those floats your boat. Final word, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hope I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, that did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me, but if you guys feel like doing these things, well then by all means, feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for tonight, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.